Think scaling AI is hard? Think again. With Watson X, you can deploy AI across any environment. Above the clouds, helping pilots navigate flights, and on lots of clouds, helping employees automate tasks. On-prem, so designers can access proprietary data, and on the edge, so remote bank tellers can assist customers. Watson X works anywhere, so you can scale AI everywhere. Learn more at ibm.com/WatsonX. IBM. Let's create.
ABC Wednesdays.
I'm Joan, and I'm your first Golden Bachelorette.
Joan's getting a second chance.
This is about everybody like me, navigating, trying to find love at this age.
I wouldn't be here if I didn't have hope.
Because love never ages.
Golden age doesn't mean you're old. Old is a state of mind, like a lot of living to do.
The Golden Bachelorette, Wednesdays on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. I had an idea in mind for this episode specifically, and I was sitting down to record and just thinking about how there are so many things in my life that I need to update you on, and I feel like we can incorporate that original topic idea into what I have to say. If you guys go back and listen to the very first episode of this podcast, I think it was called like Introductions or Welcome to the Podcast or whatever, that was 16 episodes ago, and that was back in like October, I think. Let me scroll back a little bit. Yeah, October, which is crazy, when I first launched this podcast. And I think when I first started, I just wanted a platform to make it kind of like an extension of my YouTube channel. And since October, I have been on a wild journey of growth and change in my life. And even within the past like 2 months, I feel like every day I'm just becoming more and more of the person and the version of myself that, well, I wouldn't even say that. I feel like we're always growing, we're always changing, and I feel like I'm going through some sort of like awakening almost. I just am not the same person that I was back when I launched this in October, and there are so many little things in my life that are changing so rapidly. And I thought that we could just talk about them all in this episode. If you guys are just listening to the podcast, what's up? My name is Lily. I'm the host of 80/20, and this episode is just going to be a big life update. I first wanted to chat with you guys about something that involves you. So if you're listening, listen up, crank the volume. Also, I have my window open because it's a beautiful day outside. It's like the first day that I've seen the sunshine in such a long time. And the fresh air is so good for you. Just being outside can drastically improve your mood. And before I was recording this, I actually just took my dogs on a walk, and I just came back inside feeling so refreshed, feeling good, feeling warm, and there's just something about the sunshine. So if the weather's getting good where you live, please go outside. So anyway, that's like the outside noises. If you're hearing any outside noises, that is where it's coming from. I want to talk to you guys about my newest program. If you follow me on Instagram, you're probably so tired of hearing about this, but I know that when promoting anything, I know from my experience, I don't learn about like programs or like launches of stuff or like new clothing lines or people's books, like I am typically the last person to learn about stuff like this. I miss the drops. I never enroll in time. I'm always the last person to know about anything, I feel like, because I don't really frequent Instagram. And so I want to be able to like shout it out on everything so everybody can know about it, because this is the program that I wish I had when I was going through my lowest. The program is called Good Things Come in Threes. It is a 33-day group health coaching program for 20-something women. I got a couple questions like, do you have to be in your 20s to do it? Typically like 18 to 25 is the ideal age range. This is targeted to college students, post-grad age. In like your late teens, early 20s, life is tricky to navigate, and there are so many things that people are telling us to do, but nobody's telling us to stop for a second and take care of ourselves. If these are supposed to be the best years of our lives, why don't we feel like our best? Why are we all struggling to get out of bed in the morning? Why are we all settling for bad habits that people tell us that we're supposed to be involved in? Why are we settling for toxic friendships? Why are we settling for feeling so bad about ourselves because of the way that social media tells us that we think that we should look? And I want to erase all of that bullshit and teach you the tools to navigate 3 essential areas of your health and wellness journey. And while there are so many different factors and things that kind of play into what health and wellness even is, in this 33-day program, we're going to focus on 3 of them. So those 3 things are movement, mindset, and nourishment. There are 3 things that we have to do every single day in relation to mindset, movement, and nourishment. Members will get access to the tools, the resources, the challenges, the daily tasks, the grocery lists, the recipes, the worksheets, the workbook, and the entire group will be housed on our private Instagram page. So members get access to 15 live coaching sessions with me. Members get access to communications with each other, kind of like an open forum concept, and something that I wanted in a program, which I've never seen a program like this before. I've seen, some group coaching programs and stuff, but nothing like this specifically. And it's kind of like a challenge and a program all in one. It's not a weight loss program. It's not a quick fix. It's not a crash diet. It's a program that will essentially catapult you into a healthier overall lifestyle. Something that was important to me when creating a program like this was giving the team members a community behind it. Humans need connection, and connection has been for over a year taken away from us. And it's been really, really, really hard for everybody. There's not a single person who has not had a crappy year. Life is hard right now, and people don't have a sense of community. I just know that now more than ever, people need community, and I wanted to create a platform that would give that to people. So if this sounds like you, go ahead and click the link in the show notes of this podcast. The program is $59, which is a little less than $2 a day. So that's less than 1 Starbucks drink every single day for 33 days. And it's going to be a mind, body, and soul transformation. And I really, really hope to see you there. I think most people need a health coach. I even have a health coach. But something that I was finding is that some people just are not comfortable in like a one-on-one setting. Things just look different. The dynamic is different, and not in like a better or worse way, just in a completely different way. And so I wanted to make another option for people who don't necessarily want the longer health coaching program with the one-on-one stuff. They just kind of want something quick, something that they only have to spend like an hour on at a minimum, like every single day. I created Good Things Come in Threes, and I hope that you guys just jump on in, because it's gonna be really, really, really freaking cool. So just wanted to throw that out there, because I know some people just listen to the podcast, some people follow me on Instagram, some people follow me on YouTube, some people, I don't know, maybe just stumbled upon this podcast and they've never heard me before, but that's a little bit about Good Things Come in Threes. And I posted more about this on my Instagram. So that's at Lily Rayco on Instagram. If you guys want to learn more about the program, I answer a bunch of frequently asked questions in a IGTV video on Instagram. So I'll leave that down below too. If you have any questions, they'll probably be answered in that video. But having a health coach is kind of a good segue into some things that have been going on in my life and things that I feel like I need to share with all of you. Last week, I went to, I don't even know what you would like call her, but she essentially does energy reading and I'll give you guys the short version. I basically put my hand on the scanner and she was able to do an entire body scan and share with me the different energies that my body is sending into the energy reader and come at me with feedback about the foods that I'm eating, vitamins and minerals that my body's lacking, areas of my body that are hurting, emotional energies, and it was the craziest experience I've ever had, and I am so excited to go get my second scan done in about a month or two. But I know that some people listening to this are like all in. They're like, holy crap, like that is so cool. And some people listening are probably like, that is so fake, like that is not true. And I was a little skeptical at first, I will agree. But this is when I truly was like, okay, this shit's working. She looked at me, you know, I had been sitting there for a few, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes at that point. And she looked at me and she was like, have you gotten any like dental work done recently? Have you had like a surgery in your mouth or anything like that? And I was like, I went to the dentist about a month and a half ago, and the hygienist, it was just like a regular cleaning, and the hygienist just went to town on my gums and literally like beat the shit out of my mouth basically. And my mouth hurt for like 2 weeks. Like I still get a little uncomfortable when I think about going back to the dentist in 6 months. And she was like, okay, because your teeth are like, our teeth hold a lot of different energies and bacteria, and looking at our teeth can determine different things about our bodies, and our teeth and our spine kind of go hand in hand. She explained it all to me. I don't know if I could explain it exactly the way that she did to you guys, but it gets crazy. And she was like, okay, well, it looks like there was a lot of trauma in your mouth, and you know, your teeth are showing up in all these different random numbers and different energies and like holding on to different emotions. So essentially I was traumatized. That's what she would classify it as. She's like, I classify this as trauma. And even just something so little as a bad dental cleaning can throw off, you know, your entire body, because we're always trying to be in the most perfect natural state, and we have all these things from the outside world essentially affecting what our bodies want to do naturally. So like think about like toxins in the air. Like I live across the street from a chicken farm, and I learned that the chicken farm toxins, so like farming pollutions, have been impacting my body, impacting my hormones. And, you know, maybe you live in a big city. There's like big city toxins, pollution in the air that are affecting your body way more than you probably think. Even outside sources like social media can have a huge, I mean, we already knew this, but social media can have a huge impact on how you view yourself, how you view the world around you. And every little thing that comes from an outside source is altering our body's natural way of being, essentially. Because we're always trying to achieve homeostasis, which is balance, all of our organs and systems working in balance, right? Just learning about all these little things that were throwing my body off balance helped me to see what I can do better and what direction I need to move in the future. And so this was like about a week ago, and I feel like every single day, I mean, even like before this little emotion body scan situation, I just felt like every single day was a step further in the right direction, a step further towards knowing myself, towards knowing my true destiny, towards knowing like what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. And I've been increasingly more aware of what isn't working and looking forward to the future to see what is working. So I guess that this is when like the life update part comes in. not like that wasn't a life update, but I don't know. I feel like when people hear life update, they want like a list. They want to hear that you're no longer friends with this person, but you're moving to this place and you're doing this thing. And I can't necessarily give you guys a list other than I am going through an incredible shift. And it's interesting because I have been putting my life on the internet for over 4 years now. I've privated videos now from high school because they're just so cringy, and obviously like that's not the version of myself that I am currently, and that's not the version of myself that I want people to see me as, because I was, 17, 18, and they're just like cringy videos, and it's just pretty annoying, to be honest. And I'm like, I don't want someone coming to my channel to see this video of me in high school from 4 years ago thinking that that's the person that I am now, because that's, I don't know, it would essentially be like sitting down in a job interview as a 21-year-old woman, but you look and act like you are 17. Like, that's essentially what I viewed, these videos, like keeping them public as. And same thing with like my freshman year of college videos. Like, that girl is long gone. Even my sophomore year of college, I went through and I privated so many videos because like I look back and I cringe, and obviously like that's a good sign of growth. But I was like, this isn't what I want to portray. This isn't the person who I want to be. And most of my subscriber base is, I guess, like searching for my college videos. In the social media world, a lot of it revolves around numbers. A lot of it revolves around analytics. And I've become increasingly less aware of my analytics the more aware I become of myself and my own intentions. The more I learn about myself, the less I care about getting all the followers, getting all the subscribers, making the most money on YouTube, because that's not what it's about. And not like that's what it has always been about for me. But I want to share my life and this journey with the people that want to watch. If you're listening to this podcast, that's probably you, or I want to talk to the people who want to hear what I have to say. And it's just so interesting because in the YouTube world, it's all about the analytics, and it's all about, make sure that you're getting this amount of views and this video has to be up by this time. And I don't know, it's all becoming a lot because I have mentally shifted away from that place of worrying about the analytics, worrying about who's watching, how long they're watching, what they're watching it for, what keywords are going to get more people drawn in. And I'm like, if people just stumble across my video and feel a connection, feel a draw, that's enough. I don't care how, long they watch. If they feel a connection, they'll watch or listen or read the Instagram post or join a program. If they feel a connection, they'll join a program if they feel called. It's not about the hashtags or the numbers game. I feel like I'm living in two worlds right now. Like, does that make sense to anybody? I feel like this is kind of like a therapy session, which honestly, I probably just needed to talk this out. But I feel like I'm very much so living in two worlds. I feel like YouTube is a very specific space, and the space that I feel like I've been locked in for a long time is college content. And I love vlogging. I truly do. I love creating. I love editing. I love sitting and playing with music and the thumbnails, and it's just a fun process for me, and that's why I started. And I started because I wanted to share those things with the world. It wasn't about what YouTube has become now. Now I feel like there are certain things on YouTube that I have to do. I'm feeling like I need to take a step back. And when people hear the word take a step back, they're like, holy shit, she's quitting. She's leaving us. She's going somewhere. Like, no. I'm focusing on what needs my attention the most. And first off, that's this podcast, because this podcast has been ridiculously inconsistent, and that is never what I intended. And I want to change that. I want to bump this podcast up to the top of my priority list. And that slot at the top of my priority list, because there isn't much room at the top of my priority list, there's maybe like 1.5 to 2 things that can be there. Let's go through this for a second. Let's roll through this. Here comes like the little health coaching side of me. Let's talk priorities, okay? Okay, let's talk motivation versus burnout, okay? Because I'm not lacking motivation for YouTube. I love doing it. I'm burnt out. There, I said it. let's talk priorities for a second. You have your personal priorities, and then you have your work, school, social life, other people priorities. Anything outside of your mind and your body goes on the other priority list. And all these things kind of tie into each other. So I don't know, there's not like an exact like ranking system that I have in mind for this, but obviously your mental health has to be a top priority. Your physical health has to be a top priority. And sleep plays into that. Nourishment plays into that. Your self-care plays into that. Like, are you going to yoga for the sole purpose of getting off of your phone for an hour and just moving your body in a sweaty room where they give you the tools to meditate? That's what a yoga class is. I recommend it for everybody. Are you doing the little things? Are you ice rolling in the morning to depuff your face because it just feels so good? Are you waking up 5 minutes earlier because it helps you feel less stressed to have those extra 5 minutes of wiggle room in the morning so your cortisol levels aren't through the roof the first thing in the morning? Are you doing those little teeny tiny things that don't seem like a big deal but add up to be the biggest freaking deal ever? Are you doing those things? Because if you're not, then the whole thing just goes to shit. Like, you know that TikTok sound? I think it's from The Fault in Our Stars, where she's like, really, you just ruined this whole thing. Like, that's how that goes if you aren't doing the little things. And then we move on to the other priority list. Obviously, you know, your relationships have to be at the top. We talked about human connection a little bit earlier. Your relationships have to be at the top. And then obviously your job, your dreams, your goals in life, your school, if you're in school or if you're working towards any type of certification or education. How do your finances look? How does your social life look? How does your connection with your creativity and your joy look? Are you spending time in the kitchen? Just all these little things go on to your priority list. And so, you know, we have to make sure that we're keeping up our relationships. I am in a long distance relationship, and something that because I feel like my priority list is all out of whack right now. I'm really working on finding like a true balance, like mind, body, spirit balance, rather than like, oh, I want to balance it all. Like, I want to be able to do my homework and hang out with my friends. Like, that's a great place to start. But like, I'm talking like the inner, like nitty gritty, like the inner balance. Where was I even going with this? Like, I feel like I have so many tabs open in my brain. I can't even like hold one thought in my mind. Like, that's how many tabs I have open in my brain. And that's the balance that I'm talking about. Like, I need to figure out first inside of like, you know, how do I make sure that I'm still making time for my relationship, closing my laptop and calling my boyfriend for like a half an hour just to talk about our days. Like, that is so much more important than work, and it always will be. But it's getting into the headspace where I realize and I become aware of I'm working too much. I need to close my laptop. It's time to go to bed. It's 10 p.m. It's time to go to bed. Something that's really helped with that like work-life balance too is making sure that I have a workspace and that I'm not bringing my laptop in bed. Because when I do, I feel like everything just starts to crumble from there. It's like bringing work home with you. It's just, you can't do it. And work has infiltrated the home now, obviously. So we have to find a way to figure out how to turn work off and turn like playtime on. That kind of could have been an innuendo, but that wasn't. That was just like playtime. Like, literally, think about children, okay? They just play all day long. They just play and they just have fun. And, you know, they take a nap when they're tired and they run around outside, because if they don't, they're going to bother you. And they just play, and they play with Legos or they build stuff, and they're so creative, and they're, you know, they come up with these weird drawings, and like, you have no freaking clue what they just drew, but they see it. Like, that is so cool, because they don't have all those outside little toxins, whether they're actual chemical toxins in the air, or just toxins from the toxic ideas on social media, or toxic things that people say about your work or what you're creating or the things that you're doing, because you're always going to have people telling you that they just don't see the vision. I just don't get it. I just don't think that what you've come up with is any good for me. Cool. Move along. Thanks. So I have just been in this constant awareness, constant like awakening state, I feel like, and I feel like it's only going to get better, which excites me. But I feel like I have been constantly evaluating pretty much every move I make in the best way possible. How is this going to affect my mind? How is this going to affect my body? What can I do today that will benefit my relationship? What can I do today that will benefit my business? Just making a priority of what needs my attention. And it's not easy making those decisions. And obviously some things have to fall to the bottom of the priority list in order to make the things that are a top priority a true top priority. I did a little exercise with myself about making things a priority, and I basically had a conversation with myself, and I realized that the things that in my head are a priority are not a true priority. I feel like I did an exercise like that on a podcast episode, or maybe it was in a YouTube video, or maybe it was with a client. I can't even remember. Okay, it was fall in love with your life, shifting your mindset, and prioritizing self-love. I think that I did the prioritizing exercise in that one, but I could be completely wrong. But not a priority for me to find out right now. I'll do like an abbreviated version of that right now if you guys are interested. Essentially, think of the things that are on your top priority list and then write that down. Then underneath of that, write down the actions that you're taking towards those things to make them a top priority. Because actions speak much, much louder than words. And if you're not acting like those things are a top priority, they're not a top priority. Because to an outsider, they'd be like, no, that's definitely not a priority for you. And so I'm rearranging my to-do list. And I'm rearranging what's a top priority. I do have quite a few YouTube videos like in the queue that I'm definitely going to film or that are already like ready to be pre-uploaded. But I think, late spring, early summer, I'm definitely going to take a break. And I think that that'll give me time to kind of refresh. And then maybe it'll go back to the way that it used to be for me. Just a fun opportunity to be creative, to connect with people from all over the world, to just film my daily life and inspire, because I want so badly. I mean, that's just my goal in life, is to connect with people and inspire and give people the tools that they need to be the best versions of themselves. And that's really hard to do when you're feeling burnt out in a specific area. I'm also doing so many other cool things that just need my attention. The launch of this program, my one-on-one clients that I love, this podcast needs my attention. My personal life needs my attention. I think I'm going to slowly start taking a step back. And so, if you are an avid YouTube video watcher from me or an avid vlog watcher, please know that it's just a shift. And there are so many other platforms that I'm on and things that I'm going to be doing, but just the YouTube space, in all honesty, is just not what it used to be. And I feel like all social media is not what it used to be. We're moving in a very interesting direction with social media. And if you do anything on social media or you post any piece of your life online, you know how essentially difficult it is to open yourself up to potentially hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people every single day. And it's increasingly become a very, very, very difficult and honestly draining place. Maybe there's something in your life and you're listening to this and you're like, wow, I'm kind of feeling that way too. I'm feeling like, the vibe isn't really all that good. I'm feeling like people aren't, the nicest to me when I go there. I feel like I'm dreading doing XYZ for this certain thing. Maybe that's you. Maybe this resonates with you. We all have those things in our lives where we're like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that. And maybe it's a lack of motivation. Maybe we're just not committed to it, or maybe we've been committed to it for far, far too long and things have just changed. Things have shifted and we're burnt out. So what can you do today that will help you avoid a complete crash and burn? I don't know, write it down or take a note on your phone. What can you do? I mean, I'm serious. What can you do to make sure that you seriously do not burn all the way out, or burn the candle at both ends, or burn out, or crash and burn? Burn It Up by the Jonas Brothers. I wanted to keep this podcast episode a little short and sweet, so I was thinking that we might go ahead and say our goodbyes for the day, but expect some consistent content from here on out, because this is a priority for me, and so is my coaching business. And those two things are going to take up those top two spots. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening this far if you have. Thank you for letting me just kind of rant and talk and chat. I hope that all of you are having a great rest of your day, or have had a great day and are going to have a great rest of your day. I love you all so much, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.